Good afternoon. Thank you all for coming today. We know you all had choices. You could have been at the beach this afternoon, but we're very, very glad to see you and to be with you today. It is my distinct privilege to have the opportunity to greet you this afternoon on behalf of your Board of Education. I express my personal appreciation to my president, Sarah Richmond, for yielding her podium in this, the first year of her presidency. If you all want to come back next year, I promise you will get Sarah, you won't get me. And in that regard, I must begin with an apology to those of you, both graduates and family members, who came out of Ward Elementary School and Albert Leonard Middle School. As you probably have figured out by now, we have a long-standing tradition on the Board of Education that when a board member has a kid graduating from any school, that board member addresses the graduating class and the families. The graduate might not like that arrangement so much, but that's the way it is. So for those of you from Ward and Albert Leonard, I'm sorry that you're stuck with me again. I promise this is my last kid that I know of. I did consider the traditional kind of graduation speech for today. Inspirational, congratulatory, we're so proud of you and all your varied accomplishments. Go forth and do great things, be true to yourselves, we'll be watching you, have a nice life. But you are far more worthy than that. You should come away with something useful from today's commencement exercises, since we know that A, none of you is receiving your real diploma today, and B, we know that in today's world, a high school diploma without more higher education doesn't get you very far. So I've tried to think of a couple of pertinent life lessons that I've learned over the years that I'd like to share with you before you go. A few bits that some of you probably already know, but maybe others of you never quite considered in this way, and in no particular order. First, your computer never, ever crashes when you're on Facebook, or playing solitaire, or shopping online, or looking at stuff that your parents would rather you not be looking at. Your computer crashes only when you are under the most extreme time pressure, with your most important assignment. How does it know? Some of you undoubtedly have discovered this already in your school papers. The rest of you will discover it in life. The person in the car without the functioning Easy Pass always is in your lane, 3 cars ahead of you. And given the option of where to issue the ticket, the officer on duty always will take the time to issue it right there in front of the gate. Other frustrations in the car on a limited access highway like an interstate, in case of an accident or a construction, you will always reach the stopped traffic just around the bend from the exit that you just passed. You will never see it coming while you still have time to get off the exit. And let me tell you about the traffic lights in New Rochelle. And I mean no disrespect to the parents of any other graduates here today who shall remain nameless. This isn't really about traffic lights, it's about coping with life. If your daily routine takes you up or down North Avenue, for example, or Webster Avenue, you know where you always get the same red lights every single time. But consider this. On another day, when you're traveling somewhere else and coming from some other direction, you have to go across that intersection where you always get the red light on that day on your direct route. I can tell you, the light when you're crossing will always be red as you're waiting to cross. And the cars on your usual route, where you usually get the red light, will have the green that you never get. You must steel yourselves for these frustrations. Road rage is bad. If you will be train commuters, prepare yourselves for this. The time of arrival of the train in the station is inversely proportional to the time of arrival of the passenger. You got that? When you're early and you have a leisurely trip to the station, the train will be late and you will have to wait. But when you are running even a moment late because you forgot something, you had to run back in the house or you had to get out of the way of a fire truck, the train will be mercilessly on time and you will miss it. Hopefully you all already know, never drop anything small in your car when you are the driver. Because if the object has the opportunity to land in front of you, between your feet, or to drop between your seat and the center console, it will always drop between the seat and the console, where you can't see it, you can't reach it, you can't find it until the day you get rid of that car. How does it know? We want you to be innovators as you progress through your lives. Remember that the person who invented that hermetically sealed, heavy-duty, absolutely impenetrable plastic packaging that we see most often on electronics products and other household items, that person almost certainly got a huge raise for coming up with that. And those household medicines like aspirin, sealed for your protection, tamper-resistant, child-proof, they are consumer-proof. You can't twist off the cap, you can't puncture the foil seal, and if you manage to get it punctured, you can't peel it off. Oh yeah, and then your finger isn't thin enough or long enough to reach the cotton that's shoved down in there. But you are protected, and the person who came up with those improvements undoubtedly got a huge raise. Innovators, we want you to be innovators. For thousands of years, men shaved with a single sharpened object. I don't know what women did. All of a sudden, they told us, no, you need two blades, one to yank the hair and the other to cut it. And then they told us, no, you need three blades, one to yank the hair and the second to yank it more, and the third to cut it. But now we're up to 4 blades. What do the first 3 blades do? Creativity. We hope we taught you to be creative in the New Rochelle public schools. And innovators, we want you to be innovators. Please don't fall for those TV ads that promise if we can't beat their price by 10%, we'll give it to you for free. Think about that, people. You didn't have to take Calculus BC to figure that one out. We made you into critical thinkers here in New Rochelle High School. And how does your cell phone know to fade just when you're leaving your callback number? And you know those security questions that jog your memory if you forget your login password? Did any of you ever actually get one of those security questions? No, you didn't. They send you a new password and you have to log in all over again and reset. What do they actually do with all of that memory information? Your pet's first name, your favorite color, the street you grew up in? I'll tell you what they're doing. Someone is constructing your avatar someplace. Be careful and be afraid. When you make it into the workplace, on the morning that your phone is the quietest it has been all year, it will ring just as you are 5 minutes late leaving for that lunchtime job interview. How does it know? How does your refrigerator, your air conditioner know to break down on a weekend only on the hottest day of the year? And another law of nature, when you're given a pile of keys and you're not sure which one is the correct one, the one you choose always will be wrong. Now, I leave you with this last of today's life lessons. Just when you think it is totally impossible to perform a certain task, remember back to when you were a little kid. Remember when you got a knot in your sneaker and it totally confounded you. Remember how you marveled in total amazement how your mother untied that knot. You thought that knot was never going to come out, that they would have to cut your foot off to separate you from that sneaker. Well, now even you can untie the worst of your own knots. We thank you, graduates, for all you've given us during your years at this high school, your talent, your intellect, your humor, and definitely your good looks. We thank your families for being our partners over all these years. We know you will continue to succeed and to make us proud. And tonight, when all of us old people go to sleep, we can rest a little bit easier knowing that our Social Security trust funds will be in your capable hands for the next generation. Congratulations. Thank you.